All right, so let's start. Let's start.
Okay.
Thank you, everybody, for coming. Ms. Carr, or yours?
All right. Well, thank you. Let me just say again, as Mr. Duran said, thank you very much for attending. We're happy to see those of you who came. So we wanted to provide you with some information concerning grade 7. I know that a lot of questions have come up because I hear it from the teachers. So right now, let's talk first about report cards. Report cards are being worked on by the teachers, and we hope to have the grading finished by the 3rd week in June, so that your report cards can be distributed to you via MySchools. Mr. Ortiz has sent me a long list of links that I'm going to forward to all of you so that you'll see how you need to go into the various and set up your accounts so that you have your end of year information, which will include your report card. And now the high school process. Mr. Duran, the information that you received from enrollment?
As you know, the way that you apply to high school is through an account that you have to create through a portal called MySchools account. So this is MySchools account. The link is the first link on that I put on the chat. All you got to do is create your account here. You will need your student ID and all your student information. So you see, this is an account that has to be created by parents, not students. So the information here, it will be first, parents have to create their accounts with their passwords and their emails, and then give all the information from the students. Here you'll be able to see information about high schools, select high schools, do your selection. As you know, you have 12 spaces to put your high schools in order, in which the first one is the one that you like the most. But you'll be able to save all your information here and move it around however you like before you submit it. All right.
Wait, Mr. Duran and Ms. Poe, when is the submission date?
Okay, so parents, you have the entire summer, September, October, and November to look at schools and make decisions which schools you want to add into this application. All right, so you have plenty of time, and I suggest to be diligent about looking through all the schools. There are about 500 high schools in New York City, and there's more than 700 programs throughout these 500 high schools. So it is very important that you take your time to search. If there's a way for you to visit, do like high school tours online, take advantage of those services, and that will equip you. So by November, let's say, you will be able to have all your 12 choices in line on the application as your prefer, which is going to be your number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 through 12. And you will have until December 1st to submit it. So December 1st is usually the day historically that parents can submit the application. Once the application is submitted in December, you will get a response of which of the 12 schools accepted your child the following year during March 2021.
And let me also add that if we were in school around this time, the high school books would have come into the school, and Ms. Poe and I would have met with you in the auditorium and to talk about, what you should do during the summer with your high school book. But unfortunately, we're not in the building. And so the high school books are going to be delivered virtually this year. Mr. Duran, if you could go into that.
The high school books?
Yes.
Yes.
Well, this is the high school information. Is still the information for this current year. It hasn't been switched.
All right.
You want to play this video?
Okay, but that is the one, the tutorial on how to apply. Yes, that'll be a good one, and it's not very long.
Okay.
Yes.
And then we'll talk about the high school books with the code, Mr. Duran, that we discussed the other day. Okay.
Okay, that I don't have the visual yet. That is something. Let me.
I have a hard copy on me, so if you want, we can switch the screen so we can show the guide to the parents.
For next year, right?
The whole thing is that the guide is gonna change for next year.
Yeah.
So it will be.
Yeah, but an idea.
Yes, it will be just a little blurb for the schools, and it will have a QR code. Do you know what is a QR code? Can you write it on the chat to see? What is a QR code? But first, let me address the Spanish-speaking families that we have. Buenas tardes, padres. Miren, esta es la página donde tienen que aplicar para sacar su cuenta, para poder aplicar para la high school, ¿ok? Todo está en inglés aquí, pero en la página aquí arriba le puede oprimir donde dice English y entonces le va a salir todos los otros idiomas. Cuando le oprimen en español, la página se vuelve en español y tiene toda la información. Lo mismo es para las otras páginas del Departamento de Educación, donde le dan la información. Usted ve aquí dice English, lo puede oprimir aquí y busca donde dice Spanish. Empieza con una S, porque es en inglés. Le dan ahí. Miren, entonces se vuelve todo en español. Mi esposo, ¿usted puede hablar un poquito sobre lo que usted habló acerca de cuándo es la fecha límite para aplicar y cómo es el proceso?
Sí, todos los padres van a recibir información de cómo crear una cuenta en la aplicación MySchools para solicitar para las escuelas secundarias. Eso usted lo va a recibir a más tardar a final del mes de este mes de junio. Los padres tienen el verano completo, el mes de septiembre, octubre y noviembre para empezar a visitar escuelas virtualmente y, si es posible, en algunos casos físicamente. Ustedes deben de aprender lo más posible de cuáles son las escuelas que le convienen a sus niños. Hay aproximadamente 500 escuelas secundarias en la ciudad de Nueva York y más de 750 programas. Tomando eso en consideración, usted va a poder elegir 2 escuelas, pero de esas 12 solamente una de esas escuelas le va a dar una oferta a su niño. Usted va a poder entregar o enviar o solicitar, por buscar la mejor palabra adecuada, para solicitar para las escuelas secundarias a más tardar diciembre 1 de este año. Una vez que usted tenga sus 12 elecciones, usted entregue la solicitud electrónicamente con sus opciones para diciembre 1, vamos a tener que esperar hasta marzo 2021 para que usted sepa cuál de todas esas escuelas le dio una oferta a su hijo.
Ok, entonces aquí tengo en la pantalla cómo se ve el libro de este año. Usted ve, para el año que viene, aquí va a decir 2021. Entonces tiene información acerca del proceso, pero las escuelas se van a ver de esta manera. Cuando usted busque una escuela en particular, va a haber una pequeña información. Todo eso es información acerca del proceso. Aquí le dan, está todo dividido por el mapa, por el condado. Estamos viendo el condado del Bronx aquí. Y entonces, todas las escuelas donde están. Entonces, aquí, para este año, usted puede ver, esta es la información de Academy for Language and Technology. Esta es una escuela y le da una pequeña información. Para este año, usted va a recibir esta información, pero va a tener lo que se llama un QR code, un código de barra aquí. Y ese código de barra, yo le voy a enseñar cómo utilizarlo para ver toda la información de la escuela. So let me say this in English. This is the English guide. This is the current year. The one from next year is going to say 2021. So the book will have all the information about the process and how to look at the information. So this year, we had a very summarized book. As you see, this is a map of the Bronx with all the different schools by their location. And you will see the first school here is Academy for Language and Technology. This year, the information was very minimum, and you had to look on the MySchools application to get the information. Now it's going to have a QR code that I'm going to show you how to scan it, and it will take you to a web page with more information about that school. How is the process of scanning the code?
Open your camera app and point your camera towards the QR code. Your camera will automatically feature is enabled. To scan a QR code, simply open your camera app and point your camera towards the QR code. Your camera will automatically detect that it is a QR code and notify you the data stored in the QR code. If it is a website link, you can tap on the notification and you will be redirected to the website. And this is how you scan a QR code. Remember.
Ok, para los padres que hablan español, ¿vieron cómo es el proceso? Cuando ven un código de barra así como este, cuadrado, le pueden poner la cámara del teléfono y arriba le va a salir un enlace. Ustedes le dan un clic al enlace y eso lo va a llevar hacia la página que contiene toda la información. Okay, I want to emphasize that YouTube has a lot of information, very easy to access and very informative. If you want to search about a particular school, you could always search the name of the school and you will find either reviews from other students, other parents, or just things that happen in the school, and you'll be able to see it. Okay, so if we move on, we have here, Ms. Ford, if you want to talk about specialized high schools.
Sí. Thank you, Mr. Duran. Specialized high schools, there's a total of 7, there's a total of 8. And 8. And 7 of them, you need to take a test to be considered. That is the way you apply. Those schools, you're going to see them on the guidance high school book. You will see them there. But you cannot put those schools on their actual application. The only way to apply to specialized high schools is by taking the test. Students interested in taking the test, when September comes, you need to reach out to me by email. Usually I go into the classrooms as well, and I'll ask around who wants to be registered to take the test. So registration for the exam happens in September. The actual exam happens in October. So students that get accepted to any specialized high school will find out in the month of March 2021. So in March 2021, you can get up to 2 responses for high school. 1 from the 12 that you did on the application, on the regular application, plus if you got matched to one of the specialized high schools. If you wanna do a specialized high school for arts, such as LaGuardia, you need to also let me know because I need to register you for an audition. LaGuardia will consider you based on how you do on the audition and also based on how you did academically during your 7th grade year. So that is the requirement for that. Los padres que quieran o los niños que estén interesados en registrarse o inscribirse para tomar el examen de las escuelas especializadas tienen que matricularse conmigo en el mes de septiembre. Los padres me pueden enviar un email directamente o cuando yo voy al salón de clase también los niños me informan si están interesados en tomar este examen. Es la única manera de ser considerado, tomando el examen, es la única manera de ser considerados para las escuelas especializadas. Hay un total de 8 y 7 de ellas requieren un examen. La última, la número 8, es una escuela especializada de arte. Si el niño quiere ir a esa escuela de arte o ser considerado, debe también dejarme saber. Yo lo inscribo para una audición y el niño va a tener que ir a esa audición y esa escuela va a tomar en cuenta cómo el niño hace en la audición y cómo fueron las notas del promedio del niño durante el 7º grado. Una vez que esto suceda en septiembre, el niño puede hacer la audición lo más probable en octubre o noviembre, pero va a saber si fue aceptado o no en el mes de marzo del año siguiente, 2021, junto con el resultado de la otra solicitud que hizo con las 2 escuelas.
Que como ustedes pueden ver, todo lo que yo estoy enseñándole aquí no es algo simplemente para las personas que trabajan en la escuela. Esto es para los padres. Si ustedes tienen acceso a toda esta información, el libro de la escuela especializada están aquí abajo y ustedes todos lo pueden ver electrónicamente. Como les dije, lo pueden cambiar aquí a español y lo pueden ver. Parents, this is a public website for parents. So I am not accessing something exclusive for employees or parent coordinators. This is available for everybody. So you could go to the DOE website and all of this information will be there for you. You will see all the links for the different languages here when it comes to the different books. This is the specialized high school books and you're able to see all the information. But remember, this is last year's stuff. It's going to be, we're going to have a new one for this year.
Mm-hmm.
For parents, they have concerns with reading the QR code.
We'll put that in this.
The reason why they are advancing to that is because they're assuming that all the students have already an iPad and all iPads are able to read QR codes. So it's the same settings in all the iPads because all of them are Apple. So if you have trouble doing it with your phone, you can always use the school device and it will work exactly how the video shows. Okay, para español, los padres que tengan problemas con su teléfono usándolo para leer la barra de código, acuérdese que el Departamento de Educación le dio iPads a todo el mundo. So, para el año que viene ya ellos asumen que todos los niños tienen su iPads y estas cosas pueden trabajar directamente desde los iPads de los niños. Okay? So, moving on.
Wait, before we move on, Mr. Duran, I want to make a suggestion that everybody go in and take a look at the website, take a look at, how it's laid out. And so that if you have any questions, we can answer your questions while we're still in school. Okay.
Okay. So, ustedes pueden ir y mirar todas estas cosas. Si tienen preguntas, al final de la reunión nos vamos a quedar aquí para contestar cualquier pregunta. Así que al final pueden ir y mirar todos estos websites. Okay. Another part that I put, I think it's the second link on all the links that I gave you, is this. This is something new that is happening for next year, but they're going to start disseminating information this year. So in this link, you'll be able to sign on for emails directly from the enrollment office. So here they're asking everyone to select what type of information you wanna get, and the selection will be high school. So you want to get information for high school. Okay. Down here, you will put your email, the parent's email. Okay. And you will put your name, parent's name, if you're doing a parent account. If you're doing it as a student, then you put the student information. Here, you have to tell the DOE, the Department of Education, who are you? Are you a parent or are you a student? If you're a teacher, you select the teacher, administrative, DOE employee. They want to categorize who's getting the information. So that way, because they're going to send information exclusively for parents, all the information exclusive for students. So you have to identify what is it that you want to get and how is it that, what is your role in this. And then just click here, subscribe. And then they're going to send you all the information tailored to whatever category you gave here.
Mm-hmm.
So let me translate this in Spanish. So, para traducir esta página en español, como le dije, solamente va arriba y selecciona la parte en español. Debe ver, mi Durán es medio ciego. Mírenlo aquí. Se le da aquí, la información se vuelve en español. Selecciona información de escuela secundaria. ¿Okay? Pues usted quiere recibir información acerca de la escuela secundaria. Pone su correo electrónico, pone su nombre y aquí selecciona quién está solicitando. Está solicitando un padre de la escuela pública, está solicitando un estudiante o está solicitando un maestro y así por el estilo. Si usted es un padre, por favor, seleccione padre. Si usted es un estudiante, seleccione estudiante y va a recibir la información detallada de acuerdo a quien la está recibiendo. Una vez usted termina eso, le da a suscribir y ya ellos van a tener su información y le van a mandar información directamente a usted de acuerdo a lo que esté pasando en el momento con el proceso. Como ya ustedes saben, la información últimamente está cambiando todas las semanas y hoy se dice una cosa y la semana que viene se dice otra. Es muy importante mantener la comunicación a través de los correos electrónicos porque es la forma más fácil y segura que se puede comunicar con usted. Los teléfonos ya pasaron a un segundo término porque mucha gente no chequea su correo de voz, otras personas no cogen el teléfono y así, pero la información en el correo electrónico está ahí. Usted la puede leer cuantas veces la necesite y la puede salvar. So this is the way that the Board of Education is moving with email. So it's very important for all the parents to have a
current
email, yeah, functioning current email address where you could get this information. Phones are already a secondary thing. People don't check their voicemails, or if not, there's always some issues with the phones and people don't get the information. With it, you could always read it as many times as you like and even save it and show it to other people to explain to you if you have any questions.
So,
Mr. Duran, can
let me just add that they will also use that information in case of an emergency, and the DOE needs to, disseminate information, as widely as possible to everybody. So the email address should always be current and up to date. I'm sorry, Ms. Pope.
I just want to piggyback. It is extremely important that you have a working email. That email is what you are going to use to create the MySchool account for your child's high school application. Es súper importante que tengan un email activo, que funcione, que ustedes lo usen constantemente, porque ese es el email que van a utilizar para crear una cuenta de MySchool para la solicitud para la high school de su hijo.
Ok, muy buena pregunta me hicieron ahora uno de los padres. Hay dos cuentas que van a estar dando la información a ustedes sobre ahora a final de año. Una es esta cuenta, que es la cuenta para aplicar para la high school, pero hay otra cuenta que se llama NYC Schools Account, y eso es una cuenta para hacer otra cosa totalmente diferente. So, eso es algo para usted ver las notas, ver los exámenes del estado y ver la información en general que tenga su hijo con el Departamento de Educación. So I just want to clarify that there are two accounts that you should be, that you're going to get information this month. One is this account, and this is only for parents applying to either 5th grade going to 6th or 8th grade going to high school. Okay, this is to apply for the different schools. The other account is the NYC schools account. And
Duran,
yes.
I'm sorry. Can you show the portal for that, how they can access that account, even though they don't have the information yet?
Hold on, let me search for
So they
it.
can see the difference. It's NYC. Sorry, mystudent.nyc. Forgive me. Mystudent.nyc.
That what?
.net.
That, no, there's no net, just NYC. MySchools.nyc.
Mhm.
So this is the page. This is something that your child has since kindergarten. You could get access to it, and you will see your entire school records starting from kindergarten.
Right.
Esta es la página que le estaba hablando. Esta página le da información desde que su niño estaba en kindergarten. ¿Ok? Como siempre, todas las páginas del Departamento de Educación, cuando usted ve aquí que dice inglés, le puede dar un clic y ahí van a estar las otras lenguas. O si quiere español, le da español y todo entonces se vuelve español.
El reporte de
Also,
notas
let them know that that's where they can also find the report cards.
the report card. So I'm just texting that on the box.
Okay.
Yes, you will need the OSIS number, the student ID number, to be able to access this, and you will need a special invitation code. I am trying to not create confusion and do the MySchools account advertising first,
Mm-hmm.
and then this page. So this is, I'm going to start within a week or two to send out the information for this page. So if you have any friends, please tell them the information whenever you hear there's a confusion. Okay, so I'm gonna write all the links again on the chat, because while I was explaining, several students join in and they're not going to be able to see it. So look at the chat for the links of the different pages that I was showing when you came in. Also, I'm recording this session, so if you came in late, you could always see whatever we were talking about when you came in. I'm gonna send an email with all the links and also the link for the video of what we spoke about it here.
Right. The high school books, I'm sorry, unfortunately, that was the question on the chat, are not being mailed. Everything is being done electronically because that's the most efficient way to reach the most people. So that's why we wanted to have this meeting with the students and the parents today, so that you guys understand that you need to set up these two accounts so that this information can be sent to you by the DOE.
The books will arrive anytime after September.
Mm-hmm. Once we go back to school, we're hopeful that we'll start getting the shipments. But this is so that you can get a jump on things for the summer. All right, and you can start looking, you can register, you can have everything in place for September, and then this way, you can start looking at the high school books, start seeing how they're organized, start thinking about what high schools you may be interested in, so that you'll be ready to go when we get back to school in September.
Okay, para traducir un poco, la pregunta fue que cuándo van a traer los libros, cuándo van a poder ver los libros. Los libros van a venir después de septiembre. Puede ser septiembre, puede ser octubre. Por eso estamos tratando de hacer todo esto con tiempo, para que ustedes vean la información que se va a proveer en el Internet. Es importante movernos digitalmente ya para el Internet, y los libros van a llegar bastante tarde después que entremos en la escuela.
So the question on the chat was, once we create the MySchools account, would we be allowed to get our report cards? Your report cards will be online through the My Student account. As Ms. Poe said, the MySchools is for you to apply to the high school, use the high school process. The My Student account is where your transcript will be. That includes your report cards for the first marking period, second marking period, and the final report card for the year. So you can see, how you did. And that's why you need the two separate accounts. The My Student account has all of your information from the time you entered the DOE to current, and it will continue to have your your demographic information, your attendance, as well as your test scores and your grades, your report cards. The MySchools account is so that you can use that account to apply to high schools. So those are the two different accounts you need to set up.
So la pregunta fue, Ms. Paul, you want to translate?
Yes, guys, we know it can be confusing, but just keep in mind, there's two different accounts, one for high school application, one to look at the report card. We will provide you with information on how to access both. And that is coming soon, this month. So all we need is your undivided patience, and we will get that information to you so you can navigate both websites. Mr. Durán, can you please translate that?
So la pregunta fue que cómo se va a poder ver las notas. Las notas solamente se van a poder ver a través de la cuenta que se llama MyStudent, no la que se llama MySchool. Son dos cuentas diferentes. En la cuenta que se llama MyStudent van a poder ver las notas después del día 20 de junio. ¿Okay? Tienen que tener claro la diferencia entre las dos cuentas, porque se usan para dos cosas diferentes.
Mr. Duran, there was a question about, do they need a code in order to create the account?
Yes. For my student account, they need a code that I have to generate.
Okay.
Okay. For the other one, they need the OSIS number, and they just need the child's date of birth and personal information.
So when you generate that code, how will you get it out to the families?
It comes out in a letter form. So we're going to send it out to the students' accounts. Okay.
So, all right. So that should answer that question. So you will do it via email, correct?
Correct.
Because everybody at MS390 has the same email account. So all of the students have an email, and that is really the best way for us to get information, mass information, letters, things of that nature that we need to send to the families. Because a lot of times the email addresses that we have for the parents are either not accurate, or, parents change their email addresses. So the most efficient way for us to get information out is to send it to the kids through their MS390 account.
Yes, and also for privacy issues. When we send something to a non-MS390 account, we don't know who's in the other side. So it could be a parent that doesn't have permission to access the student account, So we don't want to get into those debates. So we're just going to send it to the student's account.
Right. Because those accounts are controlled by the school.
Yes. So to translate, las información para accesar a la nota se va a enviar a los correos de los niños solamente, no a los correos de los padres, porque para evitar problemas de privacidad, nosotros no sabemos quiénes están detrás de los correos privados, pero sí sabemos quiénes son los que están en el correo de la escuela. So, por eso se va a enviar a los correos de los niños el formulario con la información cómo accesar ese website. Okay, other questions here? Ms. Poe, you want to answer this one? Yeah. Is there summer school?
In the summer school, yes. There's going to be summer school for students that are mandated to attend summer school because they didn't meet the standards. Who didn't meet the standards? Any student that didn't do well first marking period, any student that didn't do well the second marking period, any student that didn't do well during remote learning third marking period. So parents will get a letter soon, by June 20th, letting you know if your child is mandated to go to summer school. And in the summer, depending on how your child does, then we can recommend whether or not your child has demonstrated evidence to be promoted to the 8th grade.
Translate, please.
Los niños que no hicieron bien en el primer reporte de notas del año no hicieron bien en el segundo reporte de notas del año y tampoco hicieron bien durante el tercer reporte de notas, que es durante aprendizaje virtual, lo que hemos estado experimentando las últimas 10 semanas. Esos niños que no tuvieron una producción satisfactoria, se les recomendará para escuela de verano mandatoria, y en el verano, dependiendo cómo el niño haga, se hará una recomendación para saber si el niño llenó las expectativas académicas y puede ser promovido para el 8º grado. Usted sabrá cuándo, a más tardar, pensamos que ya para junio 20 le habremos enviado la carta.
Another question that we have here, what is a QR code and what is it used for? A QR code is a barcode square that holds a lot of information that you can't see with your eyes. But when you scan it with your iPad, it will take you to a website or will give you all the information that is required. So, like for example, in the school, we have several QR codes on the monitors. If you scan it with your phone or your iPad, it will take you to whatever website we ask you to go. So the same way, the book will have the QR codes for the schools, and when you put the camera to it and you click on the link, it will take you to whatever information that high school wants to share with you.
And let me answer the question about passing the first and second marking period and failing the third.
Ms. Carr, can you allow me just to translate what I said?
Sure, I'm sorry, Mr. Durant.
So, preguntaron que qué es lo que es una barra de código QR, ¿verdad? Es un cuadrito con muchos puntos y muchas cosas que nosotros con los ojos no podemos determinar qué dice o de qué se trata, pero la cámara puede ver exactamente qué dice y le da un enlace. Cuando usted le pone el iPad usando la cámara, le da un enlace que lo lleva a la información que dice la barra. Entonces, cuando usted el año que viene lea el libro de las escuelas, va a ver que esa barra está en un lado de la página. Y usted simplemente hace ese proceso cuando le da un clic al link que le enseña en la cámara, la va a llevar a la información que la escuela quiere compartir con usted. So, es una manera de poner más información en el papel sin tener que gastar tanto papel. Por eso el libro era más o menos de este grueso y ahora va a ser una cosita bien fina. Okay, Ms. Carr, go ahead.
Yes. So during the first and second marking period, if you were successful and you passed, congratulations. So what we do is we take a holistic approach to at the end of the school year in order to determine grades. So, and that's the same thing we would do in the building. So remote learning was a challenge for everybody. And some students were better able to maneuver and, maintain the academic level that they had during the first and second marking period. Other kids fell off for various reasons. So using the holistic approach, we're going to take a look and see how you did first and second marking period. But what I want to say is if you did not participate as much as you needed to during this marking period, during remote learning, 8th grade, if you're successfully promoted, is going to be a little difficult for you because you really will not be as prepared as you should have been going into the 8th grade. Every year, the grades build on themselves. The 7th grade builds on the knowledge from the 6th grade, and the 8th grade builds on the knowledge from the 7th grade. So if you didn't do so well, and for whatever reason, it just know that the 8th grade in the beginning of the year is going to be tough for you.
So, para traducir lo que dijo Ms. Carr es que se va a ver el año entero de producción del niño. So, se va a tomar en consideración el primer periodo de clase, el segundo y ahora el tercero que se hizo remoto. So, pero el tercero va a tener un poquito más de peso porque al final siempre hay cosas más importantes que hacer que al principio. Y asimismo, si es al revés, si el niño le fue mal al principio y ahora le está yendo mejor, siempre se va a tomar una determinación de cuál es el grado final. Acuérdense que el promedio de cada estudiante es la suma de los 3 diferentes periodos de clase y después dividido por 3. So, lo que dé esa suma es lo que se va a determinar que es el grado final del niño. So just so information, next year when you are in 8th grade, Ms. Carr will no longer be your counselor. Ms. Poe will be now your counselor. So now that's why we are inviting Ms. Poe to start making the transition for you guys.
Yes, I'm ready.
Last year, the 7th graders or the 8th graders had a lot of help for the specialized high school. They were able to attend the after-school classes for it, and they took their exams in October, I believe. Do you have any information on what's going to happen this year for those students who want to apply for the specialized high school? What type of help will be available?
So if we go back into the building in September, all of the after-school activities that we had, particularly around the high school, so for the classes for the specialized high school prep, that's very important to us, so that will be put back in place. Other programs, we're not so sure. So but that program for the preparation for the tests will be put back in place. So the kids that want to take the test, they'll let their teachers know, and then they'll be able to attend that prep class.
Okay, I asked the question because every year, there was a petition last year to postpone the test for December. So that way the kids had more time to prepare because they were coming from the summer, and they had to learn a lot of things in a very short period of time, which it was late September to the end of October. And there was this movement to push that test to December so that they could have enough time to do that. Now, looking at what happened this year, coming in September, out of like about 6 months that we've been out of school, yes, we're doing remote learning, but it's not the same thing,
Right.
So taking classes for like about 4 or 5 weeks to take that test is going to be a challenge.
It is going to be a challenge. That is true, Mr. Durant. And the thing about it is, the fact that school was closed for so long with the virus, it was just something that nobody anticipated. So as far as the prep for the high school test and whether or not the test has been pushed back, I am not aware at this moment that it's been pushed back. I know that was a big, petition. There was a lot of talk about it being pushed back last year, but we don't know. And until they release the information through the high school articulation process, we have no idea when the test is going to be scheduled for. Traditionally, it's been scheduled for October, and so that's all the information we have right now. So that's the information that we're going on. Anything new, we will definitely reach out and let you guys know.
Yes, I asked that question just for the parents here to really pay attention. If you want your child to go for the specialized high schools, it's going to be a challenge coming back in September and getting ready for that test. So, let me translate, Ms. Carr.
Yes.
So, para los padres que hablan español, yo pregunté que si había, qué iba a pasar con el examen de la escuela especializadas. Todos los niños que van a coger el examen todos los años tienen muchos problemas tratando de hacer todo el trabajo que tienen que hacer desde final de septiembre hasta final de octubre. Y eso es porque tuvieron fuera durante el verano. Imagínense ahora que tienen 6 meses fuera de la escuela. ¿Cómo ellos van a reaccionar cuando tengan que coger este examen? Había una petición para mover el examen para diciembre, pero eso nunca se dio y no se ha hablado nada de eso. So, si usted quiere que su hijo o hija coja el examen de las escuelas especializadas, se tiene que poner muy en serio con eso, porque se va a empezar a dar las clases para eso en septiembre y solamente tienen de 4 a 5 semanas para prepararlo para este examen. Ahora, si ustedes no saben la importancia de tomar ese examen, es que si pasan el examen pueden aplicar para estas escuelas especializadas que le ofrecen mucho más que cualquiera de las otras escuelas que van a estar en el libro de escuelas comunes. O si su hijo es inteligente y tiene buena nota, yo le sugiero que se eduque de qué ofrecen todas estas escuelas para que sí tenga una meta a seguir. So the reason why I bring this up to Ms. Carr is for those parents that have students who excel every year. Specialized high schools could give you a lot more than the other high school would. It's a great experience, and it's a very exclusive set of schools that participate. So if your child passes that test, he or she will be able to enter and apply for those schools, and it will be something separate from the general schools.
Mm-hmm. And so I want to emphasize that is the reason why we really encourage everyone to register for those 2 accounts through the DOE, because they will probably send out information to you sooner than we would receive it. So you'll be getting emails directly from the Department of Education. And I saw on one of them for when you register for the MySchools that just don't ask for information on the high school articulation. The top one, I think, was just information from the DOE. So check that box as well so that you'll know exactly what's going on. All right. And I saw one other question that I wanted to answer. The resources for the specialized high school is the booklet that Mr. Duran showed you when he opened up the MySchool accounts, because that is the information on the specialized high school from last year. So if you want to get a jump on it and see exactly what the test looks like, what kind of, what the specialized high schools are, that you can use that information because it's still currently available. It'll be updated with the new information, but that'll give you an idea what the test looks like, and also what the schools are.
Yes, it's in one of the links that I provided. Just go all the way to the bottom, and you will see all the different languages for the book, and it has a test that is very similar.
Right, it's sample test, and what it also does is it explains to you what each section of the test means and how to approach it, what they're looking for. It's very, 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 very explicit about the test setup. So I would suggest that you take a very good look at it.
Yes, and I just want to emphasize that the page for the Board of Education has a lot of information. Whatever you think of, they have information with examples, with everything. So you could search from state exams, past years of state exams, and you will get the actual exam that the kids got last year. You could see the school budget, how Mr. Mercedes spends the money. You could see a lot of things. So technology has a lot of information. It's just up to us how we want to search for it and what we want to do with it. Internet is not just videos and Facebook and Instagram. You have everything, all the information available that we get is out there for you too.
And also, it just depends also on how informed you want to be. So the information is there. You just have to search it up. On the DOE website, there is a search box. Just type in what you want to know. And if it's there, it'll come up.
Para traducir en español a los padres, el padre preguntó que cómo puede conseguir un ejemplo del examen de la escuela especializada, y eso está en el libro de las escuelas especializadas. So, una de las enlaces que yo le puse, que dice escuelas especializadas, en esa página abajo están todos los enlaces con diferentes idiomas. Usted le da un clic ahí y puede ver el libro que le da información acerca de la escuela especializada, pero también le enseña el examen que le dan. So, ya el niño, si lo quiere tomar durante el verano y practicar, lo puede hacer. En la página del Departamento de Educación hay tanta información que solamente es que usted tenga el tiempo para mirar y para buscar todo eso. Usted puede encontrar ahí desde los exámenes del estado del año pasado hasta cómo Mr. Mercedes gasta el dinero de la escuela. Todo eso está disponible ahí. Es solamente tener el deseo, el tiempo y la intención de buscar toda esa información.
So, and I've added my email account to the chat. So if you have any specific questions about just your child, or if students have specific questions, you can always email me. And thank you, Ms. Asimo. I saw Ms. Bear was here. Thank you, Ms. Robinson, for attending with us. Ms. Tavares as well. Thank you. Those are our 7 grade teachers.
Thank you to all the parents. Please remember that every Wednesday at 4, we meet with the English-speaking parents, and on Thursdays, we meet with the Spanish-speaking parents. Let the other parents know. We give out a lot of information, and we just share about things that are happening in our community. Thank you very much. A los padres que están aquí, les quiero recordar que los jueves nos reunimos a las 4 de la tarde en español y hablamos acerca de todo lo que pasa en el vecindario, acerca de información en general. So, le extiendo la invitación a que se reúna con nosotros los jueves a las 4. Muchas gracias por venir